At the time this video is being recorded, Pokemon Journeys is currently making its way through the Masters 8 tournament. After all this time, we are finally getting to see the epic battles between champions, and everything about it is really exciting. Despite the mixed opinions on the tournament so far, it is undeniable that this is a very exciting time to be a fan of the Pokemon anime series. However, the Masters tournament didn't just reintroduce us to the characters such as Alon, Iris, Diantha, and Steven Stone, it also introduced a brand new character to the Pokemon anime, Hop, Leon's younger brother. Hop is arguably the main rival of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and despite how controversial he is among players of the Gen 8 games, he delivers a very interesting character arc throughout the story. It's not easy to live in the shadow of someone great, someone that everyone loves, that everyone looks up to. Hop feels pressured to be like and surpass his brother Leon, the Galar region champion, and his goal of wanting to beat Leon and step out of his shadow is what keeps Hop going throughout Pokemon Sword and Shield. However, in the anime, we'll sadly get to see none of this. Hop will merely be a character introduced for the sake of being introduced, and his only purpose will be to provide comedy and insight to the Masters tournament, specifically about Leon and his Pokemon. A character whose entire arc revolved around leaving the shadow of his older brother has been forced into a role where his only purpose is to provide more information about Leon, ironically making him more in Leon's shadow than ever before, even more so than at the beginning of the Generation 8 games. Despite people's opinions of Hop, it's an understatement when I say that Hop, like many other Galar region characters, were wasted in Pokemon Journeys, and the series didn't use the characters to its full potential. Greetings, my comrades, and welcome back to Zanolith. Today, I'm going to discuss why Pokemon Journeys completely wasted Hop as a character, and that in all honesty, it would have been better for him to have never been introduced at all if this was the only role he was ever going to play in the anime series. I'll talk about Hop's character arc, how he grows, and why it would have made a great story arc for the Pokemon anime. I'll also discuss how Hop could have been better utilized in Pokemon Journeys overall. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. First of all, let's go over Hop as a character. Hop's personality isn't anything too special. In fact, it's similar to that of Hau, the Generation 7 games' rival. Hop is very enthusiastic and, like you, strives to become the champion of Galar. Leon's role in the anime and games is virtually the same. He's an overwhelming figure of influence and strength, and the central purpose of both the players and Ash's PWC journeys is to make their way up and eventually surpass Leon. I believe Hop, even more so than Ash, encompasses this as a character. Throughout Pokemon Sword and Shield, we see Hop become stronger and stronger, and his resolve to beat Leon is truly admirable. Despite being a friendly rival, Hop takes every loss against the player to heart, and it honestly brings him down. The thought that he, the one who everyone has looked up to be as good as Leon, can't defeat everyone in his way makes him doubt his own abilities. This is especially noted when he loses to Bede during around the midway point in the Sword and Shield narrative. This loss hurts Hop more than any other loss up to this point. After this loss, Hop pushes himself harder. He starts believing that as long as he keeps losing, he's terrible, worthless, and without purpose. If he can't beat the strongest trainer in the gym challenge, the one who has the greatest chance to defeat Leon, why is he even here? Why should he even try? At this point, it would just be better to remain in the shadow of his brother, because if he keeps losing, he'll never escape it. Hop is also one of the few rivals that switches around their teams, as he tries different combinations of Pokemon to see what works best against other trainers. And at one point he even sidelines his Wooloo, his partner that he's had even longer than whatever starter he gets at the beginning of the game. Towards the end of the game, Hop gives up his obsession with strength, and he's mellowed out. While he still wants to become champion, he's not doing it for anyone else's sake. There's no longer any thoughts of letting people down, not living up to expectations. Instead, he's fighting for himself. And you can even see that while he's determined, a part of him knows deep down he doesn't stand a chance against you. Hop leaves contempt with himself, saying that he worked as hard as he could, but he needs to stop comparing himself to others and find his own path. This is discovered during Sword and Shield's postgame. Hop finally realizes that the reason he can never live up to his brother's legacy was because he was never meant to. He doesn't have to. He can be his own person, completely separate from Leon and his legacy. He realizes his true passion of wanting to help Pokemon and strives to become a Pokemon professor. Hop goes from someone obsessed with escaping the shadow of someone great and living up to a legacy he was never meant to live up to, and becomes someone who finds his own path and becomes content with who he is, no longer comparing himself to the likes of Leon and the player. In my opinion, Hop is the best written character in Generation 8, and he really resonates with me as a character despite me not really liking him that much as a rival. His character arc is realistic, grounded, down to earth, and the developments he goes through are natural, and by the end of the game, he's become a character that many people in a situation can relate to. For example, I run cross country, and when I first entered the sport, my captain at the time was just exceptional at it. I tried to be like him, and in the end, that just ended up hurting my esteem. Once I looked past that and saw that all I could do was be the best I could be for myself, my enjoyment of the sport grew. And that's how I can relate to Hop, because he's experienced something that a lot of people in the real world, myself included, have gone through. And that's why I find his character arc so enticing. And it disappoints me to see that none of this will be ever adapted into the Pokemon anime. As you all know, I'm pretty critical of Pokemon Journeys, and despite enjoying it, I make it pretty clear I have a decent amount of criticisms with the series. The main one being, it simply didn't live up to its potential, and the exclusion of Hop is just another example of that. Hop was honestly the perfect rival for Ash during his PWC journey. He could start off as a novice trainer and have relatively the same character arc. As he continued to get stronger, he would start comparing himself to Ash, Leon, and his other opponents in the Pokemon World Championship, and this would hurt his self-esteem and start him to doubt himself. Maybe there could even be a section of the anime where Hop goes down a darker path and Ash has to help him get out of it. I wouldn't expect Hop to make it all the way to the Masters 8, but he would certainly be one of the last opponents before Ash would make it to the Masters tournament. At this point, he would have mellowed out and starts doubting whether or not becoming world champion is what he really wants. Despite that, he still wants to battle Ash and his brother. He wants to beat them despite maybe finding a new path for himself. Ash and Hop's battle would most likely end with a G-Max vs Mega Evolution battle, between whatever G-Max starter Hop would have been given for the anime and Mega Lucario. Ash would obviously win and move on to the Masters 8, but Hop would then finally realize that he doesn't need to compare himself to others, and can simply be the best person he can be. After the Masters 8 tournament is done, or even during the Masters 8 tournament, Hop would tell Ash about his new goal of wanting to become a Pokemon professor, and perhaps he would even leave with Sonia on a research journey at the end of the series, giving closure to his character arc. Hop's inclusion would not only provide a proper rival for Ash, something Journeys has lacked, but it would also allow us to see just how big Leon's influence is, and how it could actually be a negative thing for some people. It would have given the watchers a new perspective, and perhaps would have created one of the most relatable characters in the Pokemon anime to date. Instead, Hop received even worse execution than Hau in the Pokemon anime, cause at least Hau got to be a rival and proved to be somewhat of a compelling character. Hop is just here for the sake of being here, and there's no time to give him the proper development he deserves. Because even if Journeys continues past Gen 8, it won't focus on anything Galar related, as Scarlet and Violet would take over as the main plot of the series. Hop needed to be introduced early on, yet the writers chose to do the exact opposite. Instead of making a relatable, compelling, and interesting rival character, we simply have Hop at the beginning of his arc, and sadly we'll never get to see any of it or how it develops. How are we supposed to care about Hop's inclusion in Journeys when it means nothing to the overall story? Why should we even care that he's here? Just to be like, oh cool, they decided to include him? No! Hop was wasted, just like a multitude of other Galar characters. Journeys' lack of a Galar-centric focus hurts the region as a whole in the anime, and sadly, Hop was just part of this. Hop could have been so much more as a character, and perhaps the anime could have even made us appreciate him more than we ever could in the games. But like I said, he's not going to receive any of that development, any of that growth, or be given any big role in the series. Just like characters such as Kabu, Nessa, Gordy, and Bede, he's been sidelined, sacrificed because Journeys was never about Galar. They included some things from Sword and Shield, but not enough, to the point where Galar feels like the most stagnant and poorly developed region in the entire Pokemon world. But that's a video for another time. The point is, Hop's exclusion from Pokemon Journeys in earlier seasons was a mistake, and him being introduced now does nothing for the overall story. Well everyone, that's going to be it for today's video. Please let me know what you guys think about Hop's role in Pokemon Journeys down in the comment section down below. With that being said, this video is a wrap. If you guys enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications to never miss an upload, and to share these videos with friends so they can come here and join me for my journey. With that being said, my name is Zanolith, and I'll catch you guys next time.